So, we're back from the VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Latias. This might be the best Tailwind setter in the format. Tornadus has been significantly used over the previous couple of regulations, and now we've got Whimsicott to contend with as well. This does Tailwinds in a completely different way, in the fact that it is hugely bulky, so that it can set up the Tailwind still pretty fast, base 110. 110 is a significant speed, you'll be able to outspeed most things, even if you're not investing that much into speed. And its bulk is huge. 130 special defense. Absolutely massive. That special bulk, with 92 plus, can survive a modest 36 plus Fluttermane's Choice Specs Moonblast. That's a super effective hit, and it survives. Its bulk is insane. Its defense is fine, but then you can patch that with Intimidate. Special defense is huge. The typing is a pretty cool one as well. Dragon is good in the format. Yes, Fluttermane is the most useful Pokemon in the format, based on the first regional that we've seen. And that's not going away anytime soon. Doesn't matter. Dragon is a great typing in the format. Levitate is also a very, very nice ability. Just going to keep you safe off the ground. Keep you immune from all those ground type attacks. Just giving you a ground immunity. That's always good for your team to be able to slap on. So yeah, going to be able to set a Tailwind very nicely in competition with the Prankster Pokemon. Like, significantly. Mistball getting a buff is also huge for it. Going to be able to get 95 base power move, that's stronger than Psychic, and 50% chance to lower special attack is huge. That's going to be a significant nerf to any Pokemon that's hitting on the special side. If you get that 50% chance, then you're going to be able to neuter them quite heavily, and then suddenly Latias is not KOable anymore. That's why you got Recover. Because its bulk is so good, Recover, it's going to be quite hard to KO. You're going to be able to just get that health back up. If you've missballed enough, or even just once, and managed to get the special attack drop, it can 1v1 most special attackers in the format, because its special bulk is so good. Rocky Helmet will help patch the... Well, it doesn't patch the defense, but it helps against the fact that you will hit on the physical side, because then you'll be able to get that Rocky Helmet chip damage also. Icy Wind is just nice extra speed control. You get Tailwind, and then you can be able to win the speed. What if you match Tailwind, Icy Wind will be able to push you over the edge for that one. The speed is able to outspeed an Adamant Landorus, because then after you Icy Wind a Scarf Landorus, you will then follow up with an Icy Wind KO. So yeah, super bulky. Terra Poison, gotta be the correct one for this support Latias as well. Poison only has one weakness, that's Psychic, you're resisting it normally. And then you've got Levitate to pair with Poison, which is a really, really strong combination. Also keeps you safe from fairy type attacks that would be coming Latias's way from Fluttermane's most likely as well, so you can keep that safe. So here's some other options. This is not a recommended moveset. These are just other moves that you can put onto this Latias's moveset. Keep Mistball, keep Tailwind. You can sacrifice Recover, and you can sacrifice Icy Wind for sure. So I'd put one of any of these moves over those two. Keep Mistball and Tailwind for sure though. Draco Meteor is just a strong attack. Like, it's the strongest attack you can go for, stronger than Mistball. So if you want to do some significant damage, then feel free to go with Draco. Keep in mind that if your focus is damage, you should have Latios instead. Latios does more damage. So Draco Meteor is still perfectly fine on Latias, but if you have Draco Meteor, consider Latios instead. Ice Beam is able to just KO a Landorus Incarnate. Icy Wind doesn't do it, you have to do it twice. Ice Beam can just straight up do it. And that's why I've given this other alternative recommended EV spread, because that outspeeds opposing Landorus, so that you can get the Ice Beam off before they would attack. So I'd only have this spread if you have Ice Beam. If you don't have Ice Beam, I would stick with the bulkier one. So Breaking Swipe, also great damage control. We saw on the support Roaring Moons, just spamming Breaking Swipes after setting Tailwind. That's still perfectly viable on Latias as well, and also patches up its okay defense. Because it's got the great special defense, but then Breaking Swipe itself will patch up the defense, which can be very nice. Heal Pulse is a move that doesn't fit on many Pokemon's moveset, but it can absolutely fit on Latias. Because it is generally a support Pokemon, you set Tailwind and support the partners. Heal Pulse, keep them safe as well. That'll be really nice. I wouldn't have Recover and Heal Pulse, that's overkill. Dedicate yourself to keeping Latios safe or your partners. I wouldn't have both. Here are some more. Again, not recommended moveset, these are just extra ones that you can put on. It could be a screen setter, for sure. You should definitely have Light Clay if you're going with the screens, for sure. Not Light Ball. This is where Live Ending comes back to bite me. But there we go. Light Screen and Reflect. Going to be able to bulk yourself out even further. Consider light Screen and Breaking Swipe, potentially, because Breaking Swipe does damage. But Light Screen and Reflect will benefit from the Light Clay if you do have that as well. Tailwind and Roar is a good combination. Tailwind sets the speed for your side. Roar stops the Trick Room on the opposing side, and also stops all the setup shenanigans that you would be facing as well. And like I said, Latias is a support Pokemon, helping hand to make the partners do the damage. Latias does okay damage. Helping Hand can make the partners do absolutely great damage. So yeah, one of the best supporters in the format for sure. It's got competition. There are a few other good Tailwind setters. It will just depend on if Latias is the correct one for your team. Maybe Tornadus is better, maybe Whimsicott's better, maybe a couple of other Tailwind setters are better. But Latios is absolutely up there if you are considering Tailwind on your team. But it doesn't necessarily have to Tailwind. It can absolutely Calm Mind. That is a very viable set for it. We saw a few Raging Bolts pick up Calm Mind as well. This is a better Calm Mind Pokemon than Raging Bolt. Like, significantly better. Because it's got Recover. Like, you have to rely on leftovers if you're just Calm Minding with Raging Bolt. This can recover itself back up and become completely unkillable, and then just recover it up. Really, really nice combination here that you do have with Mist Ball and Aura Sphere for basically perfect coverage. Because Mist Ball hits basically everything you want to be hitting everywhere. Anyway, Psychic only has two resistances, Steel and Dark. Aura Sphere hits both of them. This can Okoa can Gambit when you've Calm Minded once. So it's very nice coverage, and probably the one I would recommend the most were you to be going with the Calm Mindset. So yeah, Mist Ball's guaranteed, of course, but I want to point out the potential of the weakness policy paired with Steel Terror as well, because you've got a reasonable amount of weaknesses with Latias. However, if you Calm Minded once, the fairies on the special side can't KO you in one anymore, and then they're really hesitant to be able to go for the Moonblast or the Dazzling Gleam into the Latias. They're even hesitant to just go for Dazzling Gleam in general, because that might not necessarily KO Latias. Moonblast would without the Calm Mind, because you've dropped some of your special defense that we did have on the super bulky one. Because you want some offense, you're going to be Calm Minding, you don't need extra special defense anyway. And the speed just outspeeds max speed Raging Bolt and Smeargle. Don't know how many Raging Bolts would be Jolly Max. They shouldn't be, so just safety. So you can Calm Mind before they Draco anyway. And then just the rest put into defense. You've got a hit and 11 Enma number for the special attack as well. But yeah, weakness policy, because you're weak to a lot of things generally, and it will activate a lot of the time because you're super bulky. But the Terror of Steel type is best with weakness policy for sure. Poison has one weakness. Steel has still a couple of weaknesses, like the Fighting and Fire as well. So you've got plenty of weaknesses in and out of Terror that you can still get your weakness policy activated, while Steel being a good Terror to pair with Levitate because it's immune to ground moves. Granted, you don't get the weakness policy boost from ground type attacks, but it's still a good combination to go for. Generally, Poison's better because it has less weaknesses than Steel, but Steel is going to be very nice here. Generally, because you have a couple of extra weaknesses. So a little bit unexpected, but will be very nice. Don't run Stored Power. That's not worth it with the weakness policy. Just go Mist Ball. Stored Power is a single set. Go with Mist Ball for sure. You can absolutely go with Thunderbolt and Terra Electric as well, because if you have Terra Electric with Levitate, you have no weaknesses, and Thunderbolt with actually Electric and Psychic is near perfect coverage. I think. And I usually get these slightly wrong because I missed something. Pretty sure that Dark Dragon, as in Hydreigon and Roaring Moon, are the only ones that resist both of the attacks. I'm pretty sure otherwise it has perfect coverage. Someone in the comments is going to tell me another combination that's not Dark and Dragon that resists both of those, but I can't think of it off the top of my head anyway. But yeah, Mist Ball and Thunderbolt, very good coverage. Terra Electric benefits offensively and defensively from the Thunderbolts. Or Thunderbolt, I should say, benefits offensively from Terra Electric, and you've got Levitate defensively too, so that is quite nice. Citrus Berry is a worthwhile item for sure. I would recommend Citrus Berry over Leftovers on a Calm Mind Pokemon that has Recovery. If you don't have Recovery, absolutely Leftovers, because that's your only Recovery. But because this has Recovery, Citrus Berry is better. It's instantaneous. It gives you much more HP in a short burst that may allow you one more setup of a Calm Mind that will now mean you're unkillable. So that's something Leftovers can't do. And if you're in the point where you're unkillable, it doesn't matter that you're recovering 6% every turn. You don't need it. You're unkillable. Doesn't matter. Get the Citrus Berry to give you that extra turn to become unkillable. Much better. Also, Terra Fairy. It gets Draining Kiss. If you get a couple of Calm Minds, and then you get the Terra Fairy boost on top of the Draining Kiss, then you're going to be able to recover a significant amount of HP. So, become even more unkillable in that regard as well. Chilling Water, Breaking Swipe. I mentioned Breaking Swipe already. Still worth mentioning. If you're pairing it with a Calm Mind set, of course, this is not a recommended new set, of course. These are alternative moves to have in the Thunderbolt / Aura Sphere slot on the Calm Mind set. Chilling Water and Breaking Swipe reduce the attack of the opposing Pokemon. Chilling Water benefits from Calm Mind, so would actually be able to increase in power, and also actually hits Incineroar, like, you know, Mist Ball can't. Chilling Water can, and super effectively, so it actually stack up some reasonable damage, while also reducing the attack. Breaking Swipe is just generally good utility, because it's hitting both of the opposing Pokemon. You're not doing it for damage, that's Mist Ball, and you happen to be able to break a Focus Sash of a Chien-Pao, doesn't matter. But otherwise, the attack drops are pretty nice. And if you don't want the recovery and you want extra power, if you're going for Terra Fairy, then Alluring Voice is your best option to be able to go for. I'd probably stick with Draining Kiss, though, because when you Terra, it gets the 60 base power as well, because it's a weak move generally. So surely Draining Kiss is going to be better than Alluring Voice, but this is slightly stronger. Also, Safety Goggles is a pretty good item. Like, there's a few. I'm sure I can say all the just generally good items that could be on Latias. Like, it doesn't have to be Citrus Berry or Weakness Policy. There's plenty. I'm sure you don't need me to list them. So, the fact that I've talked for this long about Latias, hopefully, like it's broken 10 minutes apparently, hopefully indicates that this is a very, very viable Pokemon in this format.